In this video, we're building an AI image studio from scratch. You'll be able to upload reference assets like a face photo, a logo, product image, or a style reference, write a prompt, and generate usable images for things like YouTube thumbnails, posters, banners, product shots, or branded content. And because this is a build challenge, I'm not choosing the coding tool, the wheel is. Whatever this lands on, this is what I have to use to build the app. Alright, we're using the Codex CLI. Lekker, let's build this. And first things first, I just created this blank folder, and we've got Codex open. For the model, let's go with GPT 5.5. And for the reasoning level, let's go with high. I do have a ChatGPT subscription, but only the basic plus plan. So I do hope we can get through all of this on this very simple plan. In order to save on tokens, I am going to run certain commands manually. So I'm just going to open up another command prompt window. Let's cd into the project folder. And the first thing I'm going to do is run the command create agentic app at latest space period. This will scaffold the Next.js project for us with user authentication, a Postgres database, Drizzle ORM, and a lot of things we need to build a practical web application. Right, once that's done, we just have to run the command docker compose up-d. This will simply start a Postgres database on our machines, and we can use that to store user information, maybe references to images, track credits, whatever else. Then we have to run the command npm run db migrate. This will simply copy across all the user tables to our newly created database. If we ever wanted to view the contents of the database, we can run the command npm run db studio, which will give us this URL. And in the database, we can see a few tables like account, session, user, and verification. These will all be used to store our user information. Now, I do want to show you guys a few things in this project folder, but I think doing it this way is not going to be very user-friendly. So just to simplify things, I am going to open this in VS Code, and this will just make it slightly easier for us to actually see what's going on in our project. So we can actually close all of these sessions, and instead I'll just run Codex within VS Code. All right, perfect. Right, so what we have now is we've got this .agents folder, and we have a lot of skills pre-installed into this folder already, like the front-end design skill that will give us access to better-looking user interfaces. We also have the Next.js skill, which will help our agent understand and navigate Next.js and follow Next.js best practices. Now, I've also set up the Agents.md file in a very specific way. This is kind of like a system prompt that the agent needs to follow. In planning mode, we're encouraging the agent to ask clarifying questions and use sub-agents to review the plan before presenting it to the user. In change and edit mode, we're instructing the agent to never implement the features itself, but to delegate the tasks to sub-agents instead. And then we've got some other rules around making changes to the database schema, running tests, and following a UI design. And by the way, if you open up the design.md file, we can see the entire design system for this application in this file. Now, this is actually just based on the standard Next.js style system. There's nothing special about it, and we will change the style system in a second. As a matter of fact, I'm going to clear out this file, and we are going to create a completely new design system for this app. Let's do that now, actually. So back in Codex, let's say, hey there. So currently we've got a boilerplate Next.js application set up, but all of this needs to be replaced with our actual application. This is an AI image generation platform for generating thumbnails. Now, don't worry about the back-end functionality for now. What we're trying to do is create a design system for this application. Use the front-end design skill to redesign the homepage of this application to represent an AI image studio or AI image like a YouTube thumbnail application instead. This should not look like AI slop and should be easy to use. Make dark mode the default for this application. All right, cool. Let's send this. Now, I'm not going to use planning mode at this stage. I simply want to get to the result as quickly as possible because we might actually just redesign this or throw it away entirely. And I'm also not going to create different work trees in this instance because I do have a limited plan and I need to be very careful about how I burn tokens. And just looking at the agent's output, I can see the front-end design skill was indeed pulled in, and that skill will give the agent very clear instructions on how to create beautiful user interfaces. And this is the cool thing about my workflow. The agent will test the changes before simply handing it back to you. In this instance, it's using the Playwright CLI to open the app in the browser. It's taking screenshots and visually ensuring that the app is actually working. We can actually see a screenshot right here. And this is what the screenshot currently looks like. Then let's run the dev server by running npm run dev. Let's open this in the browser. Right, this is what GPT came up with. So on the right-hand side, this is just a placeholder for what a thumbnail could actually look like. So this is not bad, and I think it's going to look way better once we replace it with actual images. Let's also see if we're able to actually sign up and sign in. So I'll just enter my name. And of course, we haven't implemented the dashboard yet. We're simply creating a design system. And now what I'm going to do is grab our design file, add it to the chat, and let's say, I really like this design system. Please can you update the design.md file with this design system so that we can reliably recreate these components and pages going forward. And great, now we have this design system in the design.md file that the agent will follow whenever creating new components or pages. Right, so now for the next step, I'm actually going to start a new conversation, and I'm actually going to commit all of these untracked files as well. I'll just call this design system, and let's commit these changes. I'll also publish this to GitHub, so if you guys want to copy this repository, you're more than welcome to do so. Right, for the next part, I'm actually going to switch to planning mode. So now we're in plan mode, which you can see down here. And now we're going to just kind of plan out the rest of the application without actually implementing the back-end functionality at this stage. So I'm going to tell the agent, let's continue working on this app. At this stage, we've got our landing page, but now we have to move on to the dashboard page for this YouTube thumbnail generation application. And there we go. The agent is now asking us those clarifying questions. And cool, Codex just gave us its implementation plan. Now, I'm happy with this plan, but I also don't want to lose this plan if we clear this session. So what I like to do in this case is under Agents, I'm going to create a new subfolder called Plans. Then I'm going to just press Escape in Codex and say, please store this plan in the Plans folder. Let's run this. Let's just go into edit mode, try again. And done. All right, so we've now persisted the plan in this plans folder. So if we ever wanted to refer back to it in the future, we can. So now that we've saved the plan, we can start a new conversation. This will just kind of clear our context window. We can pull in the plan, and we just have to ensure we are not in planning mode. And now let's say, please go ahead and implement this plan. All right, so I just want to show you guys this as well. You might recall from the agents.md file that we instructed the agent to never implement the changes itself, but to use sub-agents. And here you can see that Codex is indeed running 3 agents in parallel to implement the solution for us. So this can greatly speed up delivery because what the main agent does is it takes the plan as a whole, it splits it up into different silos or different waves of work that can be done in parallel. And it will then assign us different waves to different sub-agents. All right, so I noticed that these agents weren't making any progress. I actually waited something like 10 or 15 minutes and I haven't seen any file changes yet. So what I think is happening is that the sub-agents are asking for permissions, but we can't actually see that. So in Codex, we can change the permissions by running the permissions command, and I'm going to allow full access. And let's continue anyway. Cool. Now I'm going to tell the agent, no, I need you to follow the rules as per the agents.md file. You need to use sub-agents. I suspect this was a permissions issue, so simply try again. Alright then, so the agent is almost done implementing these changes, but I do want to point a few things out. You can see it's still using Playwright to test the application, which is a really important thing. I do like the fact that the agents test their changes before handing it over to the user. And in this case, you can actually see that it picked up a bug proactively in the UI. So it's kind of making changes, opening up the app, testing it, and making changes again or fixes. And it just creates a way more reliable output at the end of the day. But this does use a lot more tokens. And as you can see, I'm already receiving a message saying that I'm about to hit my 5-hour limit on the ChatGPT Plus plan. So if you do want to save tokens, you can definitely just remove the section from this Agents.md file related to testing. So in the Agents.md file, you can scroll down to testing and simply delete the section if you do not want the agent to run tests. But personally, I think it's worth it. Now, I am worried that I'm not going to be able to complete this within the Plus package, and I don't want to wait until the usage resets. So for this tutorial, I might have to upgrade my plan, but I did want to give you guys an honest and open take on how many tokens this is actually using. I guess I could bring the reasoning down to something like medium to see if that would help. Then we can see I've just hit my limit, which only resets at 12, which is about an hour and a half away. So definitely not ideal. All right, I've just upgraded my plan, so I'm going to ask the agent to continue. But I should also mention that I used ChatGPT for other things this morning as well, like, assisting me with scripts and thumbnail designs and things like that. So just to be fair towards OpenAI and Codex, I typically get a lot of usage out of their plans. All right, cool. The agent is done. I'm actually just going to restart the dev server. I'll just use the same credentials as before. And now we're signed into the dashboard. This is all new. So we've got our overview cockpit, which looks really cool. So we can quickly generate new concepts. On the right-hand side, we can see the preview of the final image. And here are a few mock-ups of our most recent work. All right, that looks really cool. We've got our concept library. Nice. We've got our avatar references. Really cool. An assets directory. Very nice. We've got this generate workspace where we can create new thumbnails. This looks really cool, but I did notice that these buttons at the top actually don't do anything. So I'm just going to tell the agent, this looks very cool. I did notice though that after signing into the dashboard, the top nav menu items actually don't do anything. We can also check if the app is responsive by pressing F12. I'm just going to switch over to mobile mode, and this looks really neat. So let's actually go to overview. This definitely looks responsive. So in the library, everything is indeed stacking really nicely. And what you would also notice is that all of these pages and components are following that design system that we added to the design.md file. All right then, so Codex made a fix. And if we click on these top navs, this does seem to work. And if we go back to the studio dashboard, these simply take you back to the home page. So that's perfectly fine with me. Now all we have to do is create a commit for all of these changes. Let's just call this dashboard. Let's commit this and done. Now what I think we need to do is create a new session. And now we're going to implement the actual functionality. So I'll go back to planning mode for this. Now there are many different AI image generation models out there. We could go with Google's Nano Banana Pro, but what I'll do is actually go with the new GPT Image 2 model. Then what I'm looking for is this article over here. The OpenAI API lets you generate and edit images from text prompts using GPT image models, including our latest GPT Image 2 model. So this editing part is really important to us because we want the ability to pass in reference images or avatars or assets. And this model should be able to combine all of those into something like a thumbnail or product image. So what we can do is simply copy this URL. All right, so far we've kind of mocked out the UI for our YouTube generation application, but now it's time to build the actual functionality. So please have a look at all the dashboard pages and everything that needs to be changed to perform the actual image generation, along with attaching and passing reference images like avatars and assets. This article gives you all the instructions needed for integrating Image 2 into our own application. All right, so while Codex is working through this, we do have to provide an OpenAI API key. So just go to platform.openai.com/API keys. Let's create a new key back in our project. open up this .env file. Now, under this AI integration section, I'm just going to create a new variable called OpenAI API key, which is equal to our API key. By default, the boilerplate does support OpenRouter, so if you ever wanted to use an AI model on OpenRouter, you can definitely do that as well. For our project though, I'm going to remove those and we'll directly call OpenAI. Now, if you are using OpenAI, you do have to load some credit onto your account. Generating images with OpenAI is not free. And that's pretty much the case for all of these image generation platforms. And cool, we have our plan. So I'm going to press escape. I'm going to go out of planning mode. I'm going to pull in the plans folder and say, please store this plan in the plans folder. Great, it's now stored the plan for us. So I'm going to create a new conversation. This will free up the context window so we can then pull in our plan. And let's say, please go ahead and implement this plan. All right, the agent is done. So let's just have a look at the dashboard. So it's no longer using those mock images anymore. So let's just go through this. We've got the concept library. And under avatar images, I just uploaded these two images of myself, which seems to be working fine. Under assets, let's upload an asset like the cursor logo as an example. And let's see if we're actually able to generate a thumbnail. Just create a thumbnail with my avatar on the right. On the left, it should be the cursor logo with the text full tutorial. All right, then let's select my avatar. Let's select the cursor logo and generate concept. So it's showing generating here, but it's actually not like visually showing that it's generating the thumbnail over here. While the thumbnail is being generated, it would be ideal if the live preview showed some kind of loading or generating state, just to show the user that something is actually happening. While that's running, we do get our thumbnail, and I think this looks really cool. It's definitely used my likeness. It incorporated the asset that we passed as well. All right, so let's see if that actually works. I'll just use these two assets again. Let's click on generate. And that looks much better. It's clearly telling us that the thumbnail is being generated. And that's done. Cool. So we've got our thumbnail. That is awesome. So there is one thing I do want to change. The homepage is kind of showing the last generated thumbnail, which is not correct. So the homepage shouldn't allow the user to generate images. They first have to log in and go to their dashboard to do so. So what I'm going to do is just clear the chat again. I'm going to commit all of these changes. I'll just call this working dashboard. And check this out. This is a really cool feature in Codex. All right, everything seems to be working in the dashboard. We just have to redesign the homepage. The user shouldn't be able to generate images directly from the homepage. The homepage is just kind of a landing page with some marketing copy. So you can write the marketing copy yourself. And then for the image, or to demonstrate how this app works, you can generate the image yourself, as you do have access to an image generation model. So if you didn't know, image generation is actually baked into Codex already. So the Codex CLI tool does have access to the image gen models. So it can generate its very own stock images for websites. And look at that. So that's our new homepage. It looks really sleek, looks really cool. And by the way, this image over here was generated by Codex. How cool is that? So everything else looks really cool, looks very professional. And of course, everything in the dashboard works. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more agentic coding content. Thank you for watching. Now go build something lekker.